it's unknown, but time will mend our broken bones. I've held the weight of all these years spent in decay. These times are strange. I never thought I'd see your face again. I know the feelings always fade, but nothing else can make me
Hello and welcome into the Boise State Gamepads Esports Arena. It is time for our final Esports Tower Valorant regular season rumble of the Fall. Club Championships coming up next week. That'll be a ton of fun with some returning teams coming back. But tonight, we get to see who takes home our Week 8 Grand Final Championship. We've got some very familiar teams like the Landslides coming back with a new roster. Might even get a chance to see Prestige tonight. We also have some other very exciting things coming along as well. Last week, we brought you all of our group stage action. We're set up tonight for 2 semifinals and then a very special winner-take-all best-of-1 grand final. You see the Masters there. We'll get Droughts and Floods. Those teams have been very strong. Recently, the Floods trying to crack through, win their first ever championship. The Droughts have been there looking for some revenge after last week. Meanwhile, in our second semifinal of the night, we've got the Landslides again. Brand new roster. Everything redesigned. We might even get a chance to see Prestige, who's spearheading the whole thing, but missed week 1 with an out-of-town event taking on the Infernos. But we're ready to go with the Drought and the Flood. These two teams have been so strong the last few weeks. The Floods, a couple of second-place finishes, a couple of semifinal losses. The Droughts had a second-place finish a couple weeks ago to Southeast High. Can they get it done tonight? One of those teams is going to make it to our grand finals. But before we figure out who that's going to be, we get Doc's keys to the game in Valorant, which are focus, angles, and flank. Know your win condition, count cards and call abilities, and of course, the biggest key to Valorant is to click on heads. It's all presented by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Tonight, we kick it off on Split between the Droughts and the Floods. Spud surprised everybody, took down the Southeast Seminoles, our returning champions, to earn this spot. The Droughts have looked like one of our strongest clubs in the fall season. They want to have a solid week right before our club championships next week, come away with a grand finals appearance and maybe even a win. So we go to Split. Winner of this moves on to the grand finals. Again, these teams have come so close week after week. I think the last 2 second-place teams are the Floods and the Droughts. So these are teams that are looking over to get that final hump, make it into our grand finals, and come away with the championship here as we hop over to Split. Of course, I am Michael Fisher. Joining me to call all the action will be Jacob Jem Palmer here, and we are going to have a ton of fun here tonight. Cannot wait to see how these two teams duke it out. And as we get into the map, it is going to be something to note that the Drought have been looking to implement a new IGL system, practicing around a singular shot caller instead of sharing that responsibility, which is usually how the typical teams do it, but something that is new for the Drought. So that is always something to keep in mind here as we look to see who their IGL will be. As we look to kick things off here, we've got the Drought on the left, we've got the Floods on the right, and we've got Split, and we've got decently similar comps here, Jem, with our main difference being really that KO, and then we've also got an Astra on the other side.
Yeah, in terms of kind of the initiators that you would want, KO kind of can see a little bit more viability on Split. It's just that Split has so many of those tight angles and enclosed spaces that you don't really kind of get the openness of the map that you would normally see Sova, which is quite a regular that we see. As soon as I saw that Split was going to be the choice of stage here, I was actually pretty excited because we don't see Split that often. It's kind of one of those stages that kind of huddles under the radar, and then when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, that's in the game. I forgot about that one.
Split is just such a hard map to attack because teams get lost trying to push on A, then they get shot by the op, then they have to rotate through mid, and someone's holding through mid. It's a very unique map, as you said. We don't see it too often, still see it a little bit more than Fracture and Breeze, but it's definitely the least popular of our standard maps. Of course, we have Ascent, we have Bind, we have Icebox. I'm sure we'll see some combination of those maps here tonight. But as we hop into our first semifinal of the night, Drought and Flood. I'll be very curious to see both these teams very strong. I think the Drought are the slight favorite. They've won a couple times, while the Floods are really the second place team the last few weeks. So I'm curious to see which team maybe pulls ahead early here with the Drought on the defending side, and we'll see what the Floods can do attacking maybe to set the tone.
Well, the one thing I'm sure that KO for the Floods is going to miss is the ability. If you're the initiator on your team, then you're all going to be, no matter who you pick, with the exception of Sky, you're going to be envying her ability to be able to confirm that you were able to actually flash and blind somebody. That audio cue that blinded gives her such the ability to be so much more aggressive and pushing forward than any sort of other initiator like KO. You know, you kind of gotta let your team know that you're throwing this grenade, and then you're not sure quite afterwards. I do like the choice here, though, for this Omen in terms of Floods, because not only the terms of sightlines that you have on this Heaven over point B here, that archway is so wide that you need to place that smoke kind of almost perfectly to be able to get through, and with that teleport, you're able to just take that sightline out of the factor and just get straight on to planting.
He did trigger the tripwire, and Orthodox is going to smartly not use the cam, but just get a ton of information. Nobody on the drought saw it. Finally, Plastic Sleep will go down. Orthodox going to pick up one more. The power of Scyther showing through there, but Greeks end up picking up a couple as well. It's a back and forth affair.
Last player standing.
Now there's only one left for the Floods. Not going to be able. That camera and tripwire really was something that the Floods weren't expecting. That's going to give a nice little boost to the drought. I would almost think that if they're taking such a high vantage point on B, if now wouldn't be the time for maybe kind of a Marshall pick, even though, you're not doing a full buy at this point, the Marshall is cheap enough where it can be, if you have a really good sniper on the team, something that is an option when you have less credits.
Yeah, no jet for the Floods, so I'll be curious to see if their Raze ends up going with any kind of sniper option, because you don't have that mobility as we hop into the second round, and Maeve immediately gets a pick. Looks like it was just mainly classics, though, for the Flood. They didn't want to try and get that cheeky pick like you talked about. But we do have a judge picked up here for Maeve, which could be very, very interesting, but they might get caught out.
Oh.
Gets bailed out by Devin. Devin comes from behind with the Spectre.
They're going to try to push mid here. Corkles is just going to peek right through that ice wall. Reposition here. It seems like they're committing to Maeve. What a headshot! Look at that! A double from Corkles.
Should be able to pick up one more onto this KO as well. Didn't even need to upgrade the weapon. And Corkles is now 6-0. Are they saving for? Yep.
There it is.
Round 3. Well,
no.
I'm curious what they wanted, because they were 3-0, and usually if you save round 1 after a win, you're a jet going for a round 3 op.
That's the thing. We don't have a jet for either team here, which makes these sniper picks so interesting. Who is going to, if they want to take a sniper role at all, who is going to do it? Because Jet has just always kind of been the default sniper choice with her mobility, the ability for you to be able to dash away after you take that initial peek. So seeing who takes on that role is going to be very interesting as this unfolds.
Corkle saved again. Still just has the pistol despite being 6-0, and it is a full buy round now for the Floods. It feels like Corkles is going to be the offer, even despite not having that jet being on that Sage, which I know some people say you put your best aimer on the Sage. It does end up landing that onto Corkles, but I think they knew that they were there.
It's one thing I like about the knife, that it works very well in this mid situation, because you're able to just instantly, whether you're defending or attacking, instantly see that the other team is taking that route. Seems like they're going to be pushing mid here. We see one person going through sewer there, trying to keep A open as an option.
Maeve waiting around the corner, still has that judge from the bonus. They're going to peek, but Rafa is just going to obliterate them with the Phantom. Corkles, what are you going to do with the pistol? And that is get taken out, as Mommy will go down as well. And the Floods looking to turn things around here on this buy round.
Last player standing.
Well, it's going to be all up to the Astra right now. She's going to have to rotate around. Already going to have to deal with a plant. But maybe you can take 1 or 2 away.
Yeah, a couple picks is all you're looking for here. It's the bonus round for the drought.
Spike
So
planted.
not expected to win with the Spectres and, of course, a judge and no upgrade from Corkle. I thought was the most interesting.
Obscuring vision.
Who's going to have to deal with all of that sight blocking that the Omen is going to be placing down right now.
Obscuring vision.
It is all out of their stars, and so It's do or die time right now, and unfortunately they don't see right there. They're just waiting until they poke their head out. Yep, that's just classic what you want to do on point B on split. So many high ground positions on this stage.
Yeah, okay, there's the op. I
There
was
it
to say
is.
Corkles had to be saving for the op, so we'll see what they could do with the Sage.
Which means it's going to be a lot more demanding on Corkle's accuracy in order to stay alive.
Yeah, hold it. I mean, usually the Sage holds mid. We've seen it now 2 rounds in a row. You put the ice wall down, you basically eliminate mid as a push position for the attacking team. Little harder to hold when you have the op. You've got to be a lot more careful. As you said, your aim's going to be pulled into scrutiny here in a bit. We'll see. Plastic Sleep's going to peek this, by the way, but Wall's going to cancel it. Ooh. Op did just miss, but I think Plastic Sleep should have got the info on that.
I don't know if I heard the audio cue for the op.
I thought I heard it at the end. Maybe not.
Because if the op didn't give that audio cue, that still might be something that the Drought isn't completely, the Floods aren't completely aware of.
Ooh, we've got Maeve going on a huge flank at dirt.
Oh.
Split 3-2 for the Floods. So Maeve can win this thing. Oh, Maeve almost caught him in rotation. Should be able to get a pick here. Gets one.
Wow.
Spike down B.
Gets flashed, though. Great job
Yeah.
by Tracker with the flash. Maybe could have waited and got a double, but you never know. You never want to wait and then have somebody flick on you and kill you. They're going to hard rotate over towards A, and they know mid is not safe either.
The good thing for Floods is with the help of that Cypher and the Omen, they're going to have a lot of sight blocking here. Run it back is going to be instantly used and instantly stopped as this Sky, unfortunately, unable to get the spray they wanted with the Phantom.
He's going to get taken out, but Devin's going to get a triple. And just like that, the Drought back in control. And I do not know, as you and I talked about, Jim, I do not know if they know Corkles has the op.
Yeah, I still haven't heard the audio cue for Corkles using the op, so as long as they aren't reading too far in, then if they're careless in their rotations or peek one of these long sight lines like either mid or A and Corkles is waiting for them, that's going to be a very nasty surprise for them. So it looks like they're going to be going through A, though, and Corkles with mid, so they're not going to deal with that quite yet.
Floods had some, it was interesting. I mean, they got the suppression onto Mommy. Nobody peeked there. Then they die to the run it back, and then they die again as we see Mommy in the same spot. Gonna pick up a double. That is a worthy trade right there.
They're going to even it up right now. Corkles is rotated over. I don't know if they know. Oh, right as he's planting, too.
They had no idea there was an op in this game. Great job by Corkles. This is a tough spot for Orthodox. So the op is going to miss onto Rafa now, who will get to plant down. You saw his gun, but he wasn't looking at you. One more left. Rafa taking some shots, and that is all the Floods had. It's another round win for the Drought, who go up 4-1.
As we go for the defuse here, you can see that the Droughts are going to have all their ultimates, and one of the ultimates to talk about and see how it unfolds as it goes on is going to be that Cypher ultimate that both teams have now. It really can be an efficiency thing of sometimes you see Cypher's just holding on to the ultimate for the whole half here. And because Cypher's ultimate, it only takes 6 charges to be able to build it up again. So an ability for Cypher to recognize when they can rip it and be able to use it can really give your team an advantage. And it is a harder ultimate to use because you got to get a pick onto somebody. But if you can, ultimates are meant to be used. And when I see too many Cyphers just holding on to it for the whole half.
And the Cyphers, they're always waiting, it feels like, for... This is a good lineup here. Did end up landing on to Maeve, I believe. Couldn't quite tell. It looked like it did.
I like throwing that camera out there. Well.
So much for Rafa. But no, you're right. I think a lot of, like right here, we just saw, perfect. I was just about to say, you just got the kill, just rip it. You just need to know where they are. You don't need to wait for like the 1v5 clutch and you're trying to get a perfect play. Just rip it whenever you get a chance.
Blinded.
There's that audio cue we talked about. Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, great.
Oh.
And a nice double kill there.
Now the thing is anyone from the Droughts, are they going to pick up that op, at least to save for Corkles?
Yeah,
yes, they do. Yeah, they got to save that.
Up. I mean, the op hasn't gone poorly for Corkles, I will say. We might even play some finders keepers here with the op. We'll have to see. No, they'll give it back to Corkles. But this was just a great pick, honestly, by Greeks. I'm not going to lie. They get the blinded Q. I don't know if I agree with Sage leading the charge, but fantastic effort by Greeks to pick up 2. Hurt the econ a little bit of the drought. Just a little bit.
Still looks like Floods have enough that they're going to go for a full buy, mainly using Vandals, but if there's any stage that the Phantom can really shine on, it's here. You're not dealing with too many huge long sight lines that just the overall spray of the Phantom can make it up for you as Pryor falls to it.
I think Pryor ripped the alt as well. Thought I heard it, the audio cue come out. Ooh. Not what you ever want to see when you blind yourself with a wall and then get opt. Drought taking full control of this game. Now you get an awkward half-buy round.
Yeah, that's the thing. Floods looks like we actually have a timeout that's going to be brought out here so the Floods can get a little bit more. But it definitely seems here that if Floods don't make something happen this round, then the next round definitely, just looking at the credits that they have, could very well be kind of a full save round for them. They're really running up into a difficult time managing their resources.
I mean, they have the Cypher ult, so maybe if Greeks gets a pick, and he's definitely shown that he has the skill to be able to, even when he just has a Sheriff, get a couple of eliminations. But if you get that, you have the Raze ult as well that it looked like Pryor was potentially in the process of using before he got taken out. 2 things you could definitely use to get back in that round. But again, you're going to have to win 2 or 3 rounds in a row because the Drought's econ is so well set. They can afford to lose a round. I don't know if they'll be able to rebuy the op multiple times over, but again, I think Corkles will be fine with just an AR.
Now, this is the interesting thing is kind of when these teams find themselves in a save round, it really hits harder for them just basically based on the comp because you don't have you don't have these characters that have the ultimate that is able to really kind of substitute for a weapon. You know, you don't have the knives, you don't have Chambers op as well. Oh, speaking of op, Corkles just going on insane here.
I mean, speaking of Chamber, I am sad. He is legal now in the Esports Tower, I've been told, but no one has used him yet. Oh, no. 4K for the Sky.
I am so surprised that Omen held that teleport there. If you know that mid has been such a difficult spot to push, you know, you've got the Sky and you got Corkles there just holding mid down pat. I would see if you use the ultimate just to gather information, like if you're taking a peek, but man, to just teleport right into the space where Sky's holding.
Maybe thought they could get the flank onto Corkles, who just had the op, but you're right. The fact that they sent that teleport, they'll get another mainly half-buy here. I think there's a couple of ARs picked up for Greeks, and we do see the showstopper is going to get popped by Pryor. That's the first. Oh, that's the first way you can get back into it, but unfortunately just missed and hit the wall. Though Maeve did get taken out, so it's still a 1-for-1 trade. And now you rotate over towards mid, it looks like.
The thing is that they do have confirmation that Corkles was rotated to A, though, so they're probably thinking, okay, mid isn't being held down with that operator now. Now maybe we can rotate up to heaven and finally get a good sideline. But those Seekers are going to find them out pretty fast.
They are going to pop the run it back. Oh, great push. And there's that neural theft. Corkles gets the revive and immediately falls with the op. There's the teleport from Plastic Sleep at 1 HP. Gonna get this spike down. Should get a huge flank onto Corkles.
He actually got a pick at 1 HP?
I mean, when they have the op, it doesn't really matter how much HP you have. We have Orthodox at 2. Oh, this is a great pick onto Rafa. Tracker does pick up a kill, though. Maeve going to maybe try and stick the defuse. It's all up in a 1v1, and unfortunately,
there it is.
Orthodox just only had the 2 HP, and the Flood get back into it a little bit with the win there.
Well, the Droughts certainly aren't going to be in a drought as far as their econ goes. They have been saving up for so many rounds that they can afford to buy a few new ops.
Yeah, they all are able to re-full buy even after a loss. I think the Flood's honestly, if they win a second round in a row, might not be able to stop the drought from full buying here. So we'll see. That was a good play, though, as you mentioned. They rotated towards B. They saw Corkles. They knew mid was – or they rotated towards A. They saw Corkles. They knew mid was open. They pushed through mid, and they set up from there. And we'll see this time as they get a great blind onto Mommy there up in heaven.
It is an interesting thing because Corkles is such a threat with this op that it's almost could be a strategy of if you know where Corkles is, you can say, okay, we know that the other point in mid probably, once you know what isn't being held down by that op, if the Floods can use that to their strategy, then I think they can get some more successful plants here.
Well, they force everyone on to A, and now we're looking through a mid rotate, and mid is wide open. You see on your map there, Corkles and Mommy will both turn around, but they might get there just a little bit too late.
Uh-oh. Be careful peeking through mid there. KO might be caught unawares. Is just going to toss his grenades right in there.
Oh, they did see.
But that landmine does not negate an op. It negates the abilities, but it doesn't negate the weapon as much as KO wished it did.
Oh, Greeks nearly walks in, knows Devin is there, and wins that fight with the Spectre. Tracker gets the follow-up, and now the Drought are starting to look pretty strong here in a 3-on-2. Get some healing onto Orthodox.
Isn't going to get any confirmation there. Very low on health. Their Cypher is, though, so he's got to be careful.
Ooh, Orthodox taking fights. They did get the blind, but Plastic Sleep's going to win the long-range battle, and the Floods now have won 2 in a row.
And this isn't actually the worst position that they can be in terms of just pure score. You know, you're looking 7-3, and you're thinking, oh, well, the Droughts are running away from it. But it's like you said at the beginning, this is just a very hard stage to attack on. And so when you're attacking, it's a question of how many points can you take away from the defensive team before you get in the favored position to defend yourself.
See there, we get one more round of full buys for the Drought. They might have enough if they lose this off the loser bonus to be able to buy a 3rd straight round. So the Floods are still even on guns at best here. Run it back, gets ripped. Tracker gets one with that run it back. That's a huge win. Might be able to find Corkles. Gets him. That would be one of the best run it backs we've seen.
Yeah.
But they forgot about Orthodox. Showstopper misses. Oh, sees Tracker, though. It's all up to Pryor. Greeks is behind on ropes, though. If Pryor can buy time, Greeks is going to get a huge flank through mid because no one knows he's there.
Last player standing.
But I think Pryor can just, oh.
Greeks right behind him. They don't know where Greeks is.
Oh, man, it's such a great flank here.
Oh, they know exactly where they are. There it is. What a flank from Greeks.
That was beautiful.
Then they get the op.
Oh, that's... It's a shame they aren't going to be able to use it for more rounds, but I'm sure, you know, at least one round. They're not complaining too badly there.
I'm curious who they'll end up handing it over to, but that was just such a great flank from Greeks. I mean, Pryor bought enough time and also ended up getting a pick. In a 2-on-1, Greeks' flank probably doesn't get as much value because he probably gets 1 kill before he gets found out, but what a win for Greeks and the Floods. And off that timeout, they've won 3 of the last 4 rounds. Though Maeve will also pick up an op. So this will be an explosive final round. 7-5 after being down 7-1. Gem doesn't feel too bad.
Maeve is actually going to be the one using an op this round too, so we'll see how Maeve's sniper game is. Yeah, if they can end this for 7v5, that would be a great outcome for them. Rafa gets hit, but that ultimate is going to allow them to get a res here. Greeks is going to plant, is able to get the res onto Rafa. This is a good position for the Floods here. 1 up, and they've been able to successfully plant. Maeve's going to even it up, though, with their op.
Oh, Tracker's hanging out just on the right side. The slow orb will be used, but Sleep and Rafa both get a kill. Orthodox picks up the kill, uses that Neural Theft, a great way to even out the 3v2. Plastic Sleep, I don't know if the op is what you want right now. Ooh. 2v2. Greeks and Rafa behind. Orthodox fakes the defuse. There's another op.
Ooh, they're running out of time, though.
Orthodox saw him and gets the pick, and I think they're going to have enough.
No, I don't think so. Maybe?
Nope.
No, they didn't.
Oh, just a tad too slow. And
I was hearing out of the corner of my ear that beeping getting faster and faster, and just instinctively I was thinking, man, they're cutting it really close here.
0.28 seconds away. And unfortunately, Rafa winning that trade against Mami was the difference maker because Orthodox needed that time to defuse, and the Floods win 4 in a row, and it's 7-5 at the half.
I wonder if because as Greeks was defusing there, you had Pryor kind of having that whole vantage point. So maybe, I mean, I understand, trying to bait them out with the initial sound of the defuse, but I wonder if there just wasn't enough time because they had a player on the high ground watching over them, if they couldn't have just stuck that, or maybe at least just gotten half, especially since they were so short for time.
Yeah, especially because they got the pick onto the Omen. They might have been able to get half while there was that fighting going on, but we'll never know. Instead, we're going to get an all-out brawl in the mid. It's a 1-for-1 trade, and I don't think we're done yet, but Devin is off on the side, and no one sees him. And just like that, the Drought once again in control.
It's almost like, they've been seeing how much fun Corkles has been having on mid, that they just want to say, okay, we can take possession of mid too, but it's always kind of weird when the defending team just rushes in like that. They were trying to catch the Drought off guard, but it didn't work. They didn't realize that the Drought had one hiding out in sewer.
I mean, I like the call, though. I mean, you just won 4 rounds in a row. You feel like you have the Drought reeling. If you win the all-out rush with the pistol round, you're feeling really good.
I don't mind a judge pick here. This actually is one of the stages where you can really be able to hold these tight corners here.
Sleep will teleport out. Oh, there's that judge you were talking about, Jim. Right into Greek's face. Tracker gets a couple shots. Kind of ran away from the paint shells, though, and looks like the gun advantage is just too much. Though Tracker does pick up a kill. And there's that Marshall to end things up and put the Drought up 9-5.
Yeah, it's these cheaper choices, the Marshall, the Judge, or even the Bucky. I found a way to make the Bucky work on Split. It's just such a tight, compact stage that if you are able to catch the other team off guard on these angles, then you can really surprise them with these cheaper picks. But talking about something that isn't cheap, the Odin is going to be brought out by Pryor here.
2 Odins, actually. Yeah, Tracker's got one as well. I know Pryor used to be a Soba player. Been told they made some big changes in their agents and roles to accommodate this team, so maybe just used to that Odin on Sobas. We get a 1-for-1 trade there up on A stairs.
That's a very nice camera there.
Orthodox ended up upgrading, by the way, to that Phantom instead of just taking the bonus round that the Droughts would have. So he's kind of got to be the carry with a bunch of Spectres and a Marshall.
Well, the Phantom has been treating a lot of players very well on this stage so far.
This tells me Tracker has a lineup. That's the way he's standing. Oh, there's the Judge. Right in Rafa's face. Oh! Tried to switch guns. Oh, Tracker! At least gets one before getting headshot there, and now Maeve's going to rotate over. It's a 3-on-1, though. They are low health, and Greeks has been top fragging for the Flood. So if anyone can pull off this 1v3, I would believe it's Greeks, but they will get some healing onto Maeve at least. So it's going to be a little bit harder to get that 1v3 now.
Well, he's going to have to go up a very heavy defense here with the Odin. He's able to pick up one, but
Take what's useful.
well, at least you pick one.
Hurt their econ just a little bit, but I think you're going to have to half-buy here if you're the Drought or if you're the Flood, or you have to just eco this round and kind of hand it over to the Drought, you would think, unless you get a couple of good picks.
Right, they gotta find the time when it's gonna be right to eco, because they're only gonna have a few rounds to find out where they want to put that in there. You never want to be in a position where you're going up against final match point and you haven't managed your resources enough that you have to eco. It looks like it probably will be at least kind of a half-buy situation for the Floods here. Looks like they're going for the judge themselves, so we'll see how that can work for them.
Oh, Rafa's the one with it, with the Sheriff as well. Ooh. The answer is not well, is how that went, as Corkles picks up a triple.
Last player standing.
Pryor goes down as well. It's all up to Plastic Sleep, and I really don't hate, well, I was going to say I don't hate saving there, but loses that gunfight versus Orthodox, and there's nothing you can do about that one.
Well, now it looks like they're going to probably at least go for a half-buy. I see a lot of Spectres there, maybe a Phantom or two.
Problem is, if you buy this round and lose, you're ecoing on match point, which, as you said, is not what you want to do.
Right.
So maybe you half-buy here so that if you lose, you can half-buy on match point.
Yeah, 2 half-buys.
Better than a full buy and an eco, but looks like we've got mainly, Spectres.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Maybe some ARs. I think I did see one Sheriff in there still.
What a lineup there on that knife. It's going to at least find one out. And that Cypher's going to rotate around.
Ooh, Dog lands onto Tracker, but I don't think Corkles was able to punish. I don't think Tracker knew Corkles was there, but that was the run it back. Oh. Maeve gets the kill on Tracker with that showstopper.
That's a huge res there.
Neural Theft also going to get ripped in the 4-on-2, so they're going to know exactly where those two are. And Orthodox is going to plant this solo. If Plastic Sleep gets a kill here, he can maybe defuse before the rest of the Drought can get there.
I've got your
Ooh, he's not really in a hurry though.
Seekers come out. He's just got too many things to aim at. And the Drought are on match point.
match point.
You should be able to full buy here. I think that was the plan for the Floods.
Okay, that's good.
So they will have a full buy on match point, though Corkles will also upgrade to the op, as the Drought aren't hurting for Econ.
They do have a good initiator ultimate at least with KO's EMP. The problem is that it's all a matter of them finding a way that they can use that mind hack. They're going to need to get one good pick here.
Pryor's got the judge, maybe looking for some cheese.
Oh!
It's one!
Right through the smoke, too.
And is able to get away. Plastic Sleep also gets a kill, but evened up there by Orthodox. A nice trade. Orthodox is very low. Has to get healed up by this guy. Uh-oh. Pryor's going to get a huge flank. No one's paying attention. 1, 2.
Yes!
Showstopper.
Oh.
Nope.
Tracker's got that locked down.
Look at that. The judge play works out. As you said, one of the few maps you can get away with the judge consistently.
That's why I wish we saw more of That's why I wish we saw more of Split here. Just seeing these insane shotgun plays. I know no one likes it when you're on the receiving end of one, but man, I just love those. I love those cheeky plays. And the interesting thing for the Floods, they didn't use any ultimates there. They now have 3. So they are being very thrifty with how they spend their resources, even though they're up against match point.
Drought should have this round as a full buy, and they will. We'll see if they can get another one if they do end up losing this round, as they're going to play a lot more cautiously around the judge this time, though Pryor is in mid. Paint shells go out. Oh, that's a nice little lineup there.
And try to wall bang here.
And they are all on A. A is wide open.
Unfortunate misstep there on that flash.
Took a little while than I think they wanted for the plant to go down, but
Spike planted.
they have full control of this site. You do have Tracker coming in on a flank with the Odin. Should catch Maeve here. Barely at 10 HP. Should be able to heal himself up a little bit.
At least if the communication was good, that Odin ultimate should have given the Floods at least some information on where the Drought is hiding. Gonna rip their ultimate, that KO ultimate. We'll see how many suppresses can go off of that. Unfortunately, gets picked off and isn't gonna have the security to be able to res off.
All up to Tracker, who gets taken out. It's a triple for the Sky. And the Drought are victorious, and they move on to our grand finals. We'll see if they're able to pick up another win, avenge their loss from a few weeks ago to Southeast High. The Floods coming oh so close, another semifinal exit for them. I think this team is getting closer and closer to figuring things out. And as you saw there on our final play, Gem, going at it alone can only get you so far. Ultimately, if you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. We saw that with the Drought. They pushed A together as the team. They got it done in the end. They didn't allow that late game collapse to happen. You can see how talented they are. They're going to be in our grand finals to wrap up the night. We'll see if they're able to get the job done. Esports Tower really takes time to create teams of well-matched teammates. Give a shout out to all the coaches if you're watching. Haven't checked out Esports Tower clubs yet, you should. It is the fast track to rank up. So we know the Drought are into our grand finals. Now we have our second semifinal match. We've got the Infernos taking on the Landslides, our new look Landslides roster back in the Rumbles for the first times after a few weeks off. I'm excited to see them, and we're going to Ascent, Gem, which is one of our more standard maps that I feel like we see every week.
Yeah, Ascent, kind of great favorite, has those great doors that you can use. I really think you hit it on the nail on the head, though, with the ability of the Floods to just go into one sort of point or for them to be able to move as a team there. You know, the main thing that I think really kind of got the other team hung up when they were on defense is, like, when you're defending, you want to be able to hold these angles and maybe get a pick here or there. But there were chances where there were situations where the defending team, they'd already set up on all the pure sight points, and they were just waiting for the other team to peek these angles.
Yeah.
But they weren't able to do that classic defensive scenario because they weren't hearing one person with one person's footsteps. They were hearing 3 footsteps, and that was just forcing them to rotate back and trying, oh, okay, guys, can we all kind of rotate and maybe face them as a team? And then before that even happened, the 3 players who were just moving as one had just bowled over all the defenses.
Yeah, I thought the Drought rotated very well as a team. As you said, they didn't allow the Floods to get those defensive picks, keep things even. We'll take a quick break. We come back. Who will join our Drought in our grand finals, the final regular season grand final for the Fall Rumble in Valorant? Will it be the new look Landslides, or will it be the Infernals? We'll find out after this.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome to Esports Tower. Our website offers over 350 different fan favorites that are fully customizable. To begin, click on the product category or featured item to get started. To further customize your new gear, click the blue View More Designs button and pick your favorite design. Thank you for visiting the Esports Tower store.
NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Hello and welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. It is the Week 8 finale of our Esports Tower Valorant Rumble. We just saw the Drought qualify for the Grand Finals. We'll now see who is going to join them. Will it be our new look Landslides roster? Will it be the Infernos, who much like the Floods have been flirting with a Grand Finals appearance but have not been able to crack through that semi-final gate? We will find out here in just a few moments. Michael Fisher, Jacob Jem Palmer calling all of the action here. And Jem, as we go to a more popular map that the old Landslides used to dominate, what are you looking out for here to see who is going to be joining the Drought in our Grand Finals?
The thing I like about Ascent is it has so many great Sentinel picks. There are so many Sentinels that can really do an amazing job, especially on B. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a Killjoy, because there are so many great places to place that ultimate and be able to clear out the point. I really want to say, we kind of mentioned in the beginning, Chamber is now legal in terms of Esports Tower. I want to see him be brought into the mix. There are a lot of great sidelines. Great sidelines on Ascent, and his teleporter can be used to great effect there. So maybe seeing Chamber, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jet be brought in again. It really is almost surreal to start out on a round where we haven't seen Jet, because she's been so dominant and kind of the face of Valorant. But we'll see what the teams bring to the table here on Ascent.
Yeah, I would assume we're going to see a Jet, as you said, basically the face of Valorant. If you want to have an Opper, 99% of the time, it ends up having to be that Jet player. And I'm also curious how we get the new look Landslides. I mean, they dominated with Mr. Memphi on the Jet. They dominated with Solix on the Killjoy. The two operators that you mentioned need to be played on Ascent, but those two are gone now. We'll see how this new look lineup will do as we hop into this game. Again, it is the Landslides taking on the Infernos. Winners will join the Drought in a special best-of-1 grand final this week, so there is not a lot of room for error here. I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see this new look Landslides roster headed by Prestige, who I don't think is in this semifinal, but I've been told is available if needed for this team. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen here. As you said, probably expect a Killjoy. And I'm curious the site attacking, because I think the one thing the Landslides did really, really well, Jem, is they rush A hard. Every single time the old Landslides were rush A, rush A, rush A. I'm curious with the new lineup if that changes, or if it's still the same game plan of we're going to shove A down your throat until you finally stop us.
Because there are some points that are really hard. It takes a lot of courage to be able to rush A the way that they do, because that heaven viewpoint over it is so dominant. The other way that you could take it is going through Garden right here through the dog walk, as we kind of call it there. But there's such a wide open space you see right here that is so vulnerable to oppers that even rushing that can be a huge task. So their ability to be so dominant and rush is going to be something that could give them the ultimate advantage. Of course, we also see B here. We see that classic wallbang opportunity. Sovas love to hang around B with their Odins and just blast through the wall right here. So a lot of fun stuff can happen on Ascent.
It's time to find out. Last semifinal of the week, Landslides and the Infernos. New look Landslides roster, but they looked very strong in our first round last week. Taking on this Infernos roster that the core made it all the way to the grand finals last week and had a strong showing against the Southeast Seminoles. Can they get back to the finals? Will the Landslides dominance come back once again? We are about to find out. We've got Kinetic Vipers, Muffin, Zed Evan, and Mo on the left defending for the Infernos. We've got Vapor, Cavito, Froyo, Fengzi, and Boone attacking here for the Landslide. So no Prestige, and we'll see how this lineup handles. And once again, depending on Kinetic's pick here, Jem, it might take us till the game 3 to see a Jet. We'll see if he ends up locking in on that Jet, though.
I have to say that I would think that's the case. I'm just wondering now, this is the similar situation that we saw last game now. Who's going to be open, though? I mean, Jet, obviously, for the defenders here, but on attackers, who do you think, does K pick up the role that Corkles did last round?
Honestly, I think there's been some esports tower teams who have gotten away from the op, and if you don't have someone you're comfortable with opping, I think the better call is to just not have an opera. I don't like forcing the op without the Jet. Cavito, as you said, is maybe your best pick. I know we've seen some raises try and opt because she's the closest agent in terms of mobility to a Jet.
Well, you can still just tap if you're good with the Vandal.
True. I think if I'm the landslides, I would love to see them just not have an Opper. Just don't force the Opper. Just stick with the Vandal, stick with the Phantom. Maybe pick up an Omen if you're the Sova. That's the other thing I will say is no Sova on the side of the Infernos means it's going to be a lot harder to have certain lineups set up.
We don't see any individual team going for all the meta picks. It's like just a couple on each team.
Yeah, the double duelist Raze Reyna is very interesting. I don't think that's a comp we've seen before.
Yeah, I mean, Reyna, always dominant in the casual games, but at professional levels or competition, we don't see Reyna that often, actually.
We've seen some insane ghost forms, though, in the Esports Tower, and I think that's why teams continue to pick her. I know Omen, we saw a bit of an uptake after he kind of dominated the Valorant Championships, but he's not something we see in the Esports Tower a lot. So you see him on the landslides there for Fengsy. And, ooh, Kinetic's getting aggressive early on here. Oh. You gotta win that fight if you're gonna look for a flank.
Now here we go. This was the rush that we were talking about. Gonna throw out that eye, get themselves some sight. Unfortunately, they're caught right in the swarm grenade.
Always gotta check for that. Vapor does get a kill though, and it's still a 3v2. For all that success, they get a blind onto Muffins, who shuts the door just barely in time. And that would have been a huge win had they gotten a pick onto Fengsy because they had Spike. Up in heaven now, Mo, what can you do against Vapor? Oh, that's a great right click.
Last player standing.
It's all up to Vapor now.
Gonna try to bait out, at least get half there.
Pros don't fake, it doesn't matter, but no, you gotta listen to Red Hot's Gem. Pros don't fake. You hold the spike. Force them to come to you, and the Infernos are in round one.
This one thing that really shows just how great Killjoy is here, how they walked right into that swarm grenade. But that's really that one thing. Once you see Killjoy on the other team, you have to have a good memory. You have to remember about those mollies now that are going to be all over the field. You have to remember to shoot the spike before you defuse it because there's going to be traps set up. So Killjoy is really kind of a pick that demands the other team have a good memory because you cannot forget to be vigilant with her around.
See what the Infernos can do on the follow-up round. If you're the landslides, you're looking for a pick here, a pick there. Winning the round would be huge, but of course, you're so outgunned.
Cover going out.
Get the Eldor. That Omen smoke. Where'd it go?
I suppose the ventilation is just a little better than we took account for. They're waiting.
Where'd the smoke go?
Well, the Infernos have certainly gotten wise to the situation. Everyone's basically rotated over to A with the exception of one.
Now they send their Rays in spawn.
I mean, the thing that allowed the landslides to at least push forward, the cue that they got was they had one pick, but they're not going to have that now. Kinetic, wow, look at that with that Marshall.
Said Evans gets two as well. It's all up to Cavito. They'll look to rotate B and try and get a plant down at least.
Maybe you can get one pick.
They're going to run into Mo here, though. They get that. That's huge. Get the gun.
Nice.
And Vipers will take him out. Unfortunately, Vapor also got stuck on the rocket packs for the Rays there. Was trying to get up to heaven, couldn't quite find it.
We've seen a few whiffs today on.
Rays has been, I think, the one agent that has been struggled with the most in the Esports Tower. We'll see if they can redeem themselves. That's at least a good pick for Cavito. Anytime you deny at least one or two members on the bonus is better than nothing. Because now you, of course, get a full buy, and they're not going to upgrade.
Vandal Palooza for the landslides right now.
Cover going out.
Mo at least upgrades to the Sheriff.
Here we go. They're going to try to peek through mid here. They've got that crucial sideline from Dogwalk blocked off. So they're going to try to rotate up through here. Mo is waiting for them.
They're mainly set up on B. Dog's going to come out. Vapor will give their position away a little bit, but take that dog out. Kinetic is right behind them in Garden. That dog walk area, as you mentioned, but that's the first pick from Fangsy. Some great paint shells as well. Basically trap Mo in an unsavable area. That Evan gets one pick at least before getting taken out, so Boone can get the plant down.
Vapor able to get a nice pick for Muffins there. Kinetic pays it back. Might want to take one or two away from them. Is going to find that door closed. So now it's going to have to get a similar pick. Oh, it's able to!
Getting shot. Kavito on the other side. A nice dash. Boone gets the kill, the team ace for the landslides, and they're a little bit back in it now, but they did lose 3 members, which is a huge dent to their eco, by the way. I don't think they're going to get a full buy this round.
Doesn't look like it, but you know who did have enough to get a full buy? Kinetic. Now is on the op.
Did have to settle for the light armor, though.
True, true.
But those 2 kills end up paying off. They are able to pick up one more. They actually do get a full buy. They had to kind of buy guns for people, but they are able to get a full buy. And except 1 light armor on Froyo, but the Vandal Palooza back once again. Where's Kavito going to go with the op is the question. Mid is the lockdown point. We'll see if any of the landslides foolishly rotate into mid.
It's going to start out with the Owl drone right away to get a peek through all those smokes. Going to probably get confirmation. Actually, no, it weared out just before they could confirm there was one in heaven, but it's one of those things that you just kind of want to assume. Goes to Shock Dart. Very nice there.
There we go.
2 satchels.
Oh, you see the Astra.
Oh! Wow. Trading back and forth 3v3 now as the spike is just planted. And there goes that crucial wall up from the Sage. It's going to make having a lot more difficult. They break it down instantly, though.
Problem here for the landslides, they don't have many smokes for Kinetic's op. They really, besides Omen, don't have a way to cut the op sight lines. They have them all very low, though. Oh, Fangsy's is in a great spot here. Just barely sees Vipers. Sprays Zed Evan as well. It's all up to Kinetic. And yeah, right call here. You just save. You wasted so much on the op. You might as well save. Maybe you get a cheeky pick through mid, but
yeah, isn't even going to try to catch one person through mid-air. It's just going to go straight over to B and hoard that up.
Hold spawn. Oh, Froyo dies. Oh, that is so unfortunate.
Yeah, that's 200, 2,900 credits down the drain now. Unfortunate.
Let's see if they. Oh, I don't know if. Yeah, they are able to rebuy, so.
Okay.
Nothing lost, really. I like the save from Kinetic as well. I think that was the right call if you're going to hold for the op. But now, your team's eco is jacked up. As you see, you have an op and 4 pistols. It's the Kinetic show.
This is going to have to be the call.
Oh, wow. I mean, you said it. If you don't need a op, just click heads with the Vandal to one tap, and that's exactly what they did.
Wow, they are just rushing B right now.
Zed Evan did get 1 pick onto Froyo at least. And unfortunately, will be taken out by Kavito. Froyo just not having a good round.
Ugh, Frenzy.
1 enemy remaining.
Dapper gets the pick there onto Vipers. And Muffins, you probably hold this op here. This is a very risky spot to be.
Wow.
You will not kill
I like the revive there. You saved the gun. You've won this round. I don't think Muffins 1v4 clutches with the op. You're basically just looking for a pick onto the op, if anything.
He's going to be looking for another pick. Already found 1. I'm going to try to wallbang right through, though. Muffins in his situation, taking
Muffins
shots there. It's going to survive.
Low.
Run away.
Muffins gets out. Barely.
Wow. That is way too, that is shaving it way too close there.
Now you get the full buy this time for the Infernos with the op. But again, what a tap by Vapor through mid onto Dog Walk. And we'll see now. This we have not seen the Ops have great value so far tonight. I thought.
Yeah, Kinetic actually I think got more has gotten more value on the Marshall instead of the Op.
Yeah,
to
the
be
Op
honest.
for Kinetic hasn't done. It got a couple of picks here or there. No, we got a couple picks in our first game as well, but nothing too overly aggressive. They will smoke off mid though. They are gonna see the raise, but they're able. Viper's able to jump pack to safety.
There it is. That's what we were looking for, finally.
Showstopper came out from the landslides and lands on to Mo at least, so they do get a pick with the Showstopper.
Vapor taking some hits there. He's going to be able to just very barely get past that sight line there. Ooh, with the plant going out here. Just going to try to pick up someone with the Hunter's Fury. Oh, close, but he got a few picks there at least.
Yeah,
so.
he did dent a couple. Oh, they're all over to the right side. Fangsy's going to see that, get one, get a second. Yep. It's all up to Kinetic with that Op.
And that, I think, was the true value of the Hunter's Fury there. It let them know that they were going to be going right through that. That gave them Fangsy the opportunity to just hang out there and wait for them to peek their heads through. So,
well, they pick up a free Op, and it's a save round for the Inferno. So let's see who opts for the landslide.
Looks like the Sova, maybe. Which there might be.
Picked it up. Why not?
Yeah, there might be a wallbang opportunity with that Op. If you're able to throw out that recon dart and be able to spot someone through a wall that you can shoot through, then I could see some interesting opportunities with that Op. We'll just have to see how Sova does, how Sova main does with an Op.
Well, they'll leave it on Boone. Knives do get popped by Kinetic. Ooh, it could be a big one there. Great grenade, though.
No.
Oh, just traps Kinetic. What a grenade from Vapor. One up in heaven. We'll see if Vapor sees them. As Muffins with that Spectre at least picks up a kill, but... Uh-oh.
These paint shells.
Muffins is at 5 HP. Yeah, nothing you can do there. Viper is going to try and pick up the Spectre. Gets taken out. The landslides win another round. And just like that, it's 5-2.
I love this sort of Raze Jet rivalry that we're seeing playing out right here, because you see Inferno's trying to set themselves up with the sniper that Jet is so many times. But Vapor is able to counter this Jet by just throwing the paint shells and getting 2 picks now, really, with that grenade. It's insane. I love that the way that they are finding a way to counter their snipers is just throwing grenades.
That was a fantastic paint shell. Here's the first chance for the Op. We did not really get to see Boone use the Op at all last round. So you hear the Empress is going to get ripped by Froyo as well. Kinetic still hanging out on catwalk. Gets blinded. Going to pick up Boone, though, and now that is a free Op, middle of the map. Oh, nice win there.
Although with the way that things are going right now, the track record with the Op isn't really that desirable of a target, because it doesn't seem like they're able to get too many picks that they want with the Op. I mean, obviously you want to pick it. No, they didn't.
No, the landslides didn't even pick it up. They're like, look, it was a good effort, Boone. We're not going to, as you said, we're not going to deal with it.
You know, normally I would pick up an Op, but that thing's just cursed for us right now. It's not working out. We're gonna try a Phantom here.
I mean, I like the call. Again, it's a free Op. We might as well try it. We'll see how it goes. I think that might have been the plan all along. Of hey, we'll take the Op as long as we hold on to it. If you get taken out and it's out of our way, we're not gonna bother with it.
Okay, this is exactly what I want to see. If the Op isn't working out for you, go for a shotgun. That's the direct opposite of an Op. We'll see how that works out for Kinetic.
They're holding A main close. Unfortunately, 2 team members are already down. Kinetic does get a triple with the Judge, and also got Froyo to about 1 HP. That was about as effective as a shotgun as you'll ever find.
Shotgun ace. I want it right now, please.
I mean, they've almost got a quad with it. I mean, look at Froyo's health. Uh-oh. That's a huge pick. Oh, unfortunately, Kinetic did swap guns.
But still an opportunity for an ace here.
It's all up to Froyo, who has the spike.
Oh, Kinetic looked away there. He only has 4 HP left, so...
They should get a free plant down, though.
All Kinetic has to do is just look meanly in Froyo's direction, and that'll do it.
30 seconds.
Not even planting.
I was say, you might... Now you give yourself away. I mean, 1 kill, though, and Reyna at 4 HP can get right back in it. That is an insane blind with the audio cue. Oh, gets the win. Kinetic will not get the ace, but will get the defuse. The Infernos stopped their 6-game win streak with a thrifty off of the Judge 3K.
I know, that's... The Judge is clutch for the Infernos.
Should have been a Judge 4K. Mo survived that just shredding with 4 HP, but it ended up going down later on.
Well, the Vandals have been very good. The Landsides are going to go with that. The only exception is there's Sova. Now he's going to go with that. Okay, Kinetic is stepping it up from the Judge to the Shorty. Wants to prove this shotgun.
I guess once, oh, goes airborne with the, oh, has the knives as well.
Oh, okay, it's going to say, yeah. Okay.
And fortunately, they'll trade 1 for 1, alt for alt there, knife for showstopper. So Kinetic will get shut down. And we'll see what the rest of the Landslides and Infernos can do in a 4-on-4.
Was that a shock dart there? Looks like they're rotating over to B.
Boom might get somebody rotating into market, maybe. Oh,
there's a good one. The thing is, though, is that the way that the Landslides have rotated around, they're going to have to go through that hallway, but if I remember correctly, I think Infernos have purchased an Odin this round.
Do believe you're right. I think the Odin was on the member that just went down to that Sova, though.
30 seconds left.
I think the Odin is down in spawn. Kavito will get the plant down just before Astra rotates over.
They actually have Fangzy waiting on the other side of that door, too.
Ooh, I like this play from Froyo.
Oh, yes, please!
The problem is they're going to get caught in this defender killjoy. Oh,
yeah!
Oh, they get 2. Can't quite reload in time. But the shotguns, uh-oh.
Oh.
Kavito is detained.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Kind of got caught there, though. Mo is low health. Oh, nice blind there on the Fangzy. And he's just going to get the peek. And will he get out in time? Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Spike didn't even
well, all that I wanted to see this round has been fulfilled. Just a Judge 3K, a Shorty 2K. I am thoroughly entertained right now. And Kinetic is going to go back to the no,
I don't, yeah, you can't.
There you go.
The problem is the Inferno's eco is just all sorts of jacked up. I mean, yeah, you could opt, but look what the rest of your team would have. A Judge, a couple of pistols, a Spectre. So unfortunately, Kinetic's going to have to wait. They'll probably buy the op next round in our final round before the half. But we'll see if the Infernos can make it a 7-5 game, just like the Flood did in our first semifinal. Storming back to make it 7-5 after a rough start.
Here, shadows traveling.
All they got to do is just wait for the right opportunity. They have 2 judges, so they got to play at pretty close range.
They already lose 1 as well. Ooh, I think Froyo might have heard Kinetic rotating through spawn.
Well, the door is broken down. Fangzy is going to go through that. The thing is, the Landslides, they position themselves where they could go A or B here. It looks like they're actually going to be able to pinch in both members of the Infernos here.
It's all up to Kinetic, and they are not going to get anything. It is a flawless. Why did Kavito? You stopped playing in Kavito. Not that they needed the extra credits anyway, but. All right, final round. 9-3, 8-4. What are we looking at here? We've got an op for Kinetic. The Inferno started to get pulled away from here by this new look Landslides roster.
It's a new roster, but they're living up to the team's legacy. That's for sure. Vapor doing a great job at 17-7-3 so far. Froyo has actually gone over to the op now.
Saw this last game. Last round before the swap, you get a little bit more creative, especially when you have a decent lead in rounds. Ooh, what a blind.
Wow.
Froyo wins that op battle.
That's salt in the wound right now. This Jet has gotten a few picks with the op, but it hasn't been a dominant showing with the op. And so for the Reyna to show you how the op is used, that's got to burn.
They get the revive onto Vapor, and all they do is lose him twice. Zed Evan back in Boathouse.
I like that shot.
Dominating. 2-on-2. Fangsy's low health, though. The arrow goes into Zed Evan. Vipers gets the pick onto Fangsy from behind, and Zed Evan in Boathouse with an absolute clutch of a play to make it 8-4 at the half. If this was a shock dart, it would have been great. But
yeah, I know.
Unfortunately, the recon dart, if you direct impact it, does nothing.
Well, it sticks on the person. They got to pull the dart out, but.
All right, let's see here. You win this pistol round, Infernos. You're right back in it at 8-5, and then probably 8-6 to follow up. So how will they play the pistol round is going to be the question.
Looks like everyone that's staying with the Classic has gotten some shields.
Only 2 sheriffs. You usually see a little bit more. This Froyo is trying to get very aggressive in A main.
Infernos just look like they're going to just try to rush A here. Got some information off the boombot.
Froyo
a nice flash, too.
One, goes for Muse, but unfortunately can't come out in time. Oh! What a decent paint shell. Only the first burst hit, and Viper's able to get healed back up to full.
Oh, there you go, finally.
Boone does get one. It's a 2-on-3, though. The Infernos do have their Sky at low HP. Kavito and company will. Oh, there's one more for Boone. It's 2-on-2 now, but they are running out of time. They end up getting the win there, and what a play by the Landslides.
That was a great use of that recon dart. Landslides now back on track.
Most likely win this next round to go up 10-4. We'll see what they want to buy. Kinetic gonna rip the shorty. And this is just a great play here by Boone with the Sheriff into that recon dart, as you mentioned. Gets it, immediately has to rip the dart. Ends up picking up Vipers as well, and Kavito gets the final kill.
Boone's gonna blind a lot of them right off the bat as they try to go through A.
Ooh. We even got a pretty decent upgrade from the Infernos despite losing that last round. They had a Spectre, I think they had a Judge. Interesting to note that they still went for a bit of an upgrade here.
And as much as I always appreciate an attempt to use the shorty, it isn't going to work out for Kinetic this round as they got taken out. So Inferno's going to find themselves one down.
Ooh, that's a huge pick. Now it's a 4-on-2. And they're stuck in their spawn.
Has great rotation over from Fangsy there. Just needs to find one more. Oh, nice pick from Zed.
But The Infernos, yeah, the Infernos tried to buy that round too. So that's gonna set back the eco a little bit. Because Vipers is only gonna be able to pull out the Spectre. But everyone else can at least full buy.
The only really good thing for the Infernos right now is that they have brought on the Killjoy. Some great places to put it, to be able to clear out either A or B.
To get an Odin upgrade from Boone, so even on the bonus round, he'll still upgrade a bit there for the wall bangs we talked about. There's that Killjoy ult you mentioned. They get one win on the Vapor. Froyo just spraying, though, through the smoke. Gonna run away. Oh, gets detained. Kinetic will finish him off.
Yeah, the Killjoy is just so great to use on Ascent. Just the stage lets you get so close to the points, just on the other side of the wall to be able to plant it. It allows you to clear out the points so beautifully. Of course, with the exception if it doesn't get Hunter's Fury or Wallbang. So that's the one thing you got to keep in mind, but you can get so close to these points with that Killjoy.
4 on 2. They even got the blind up in heaven. I don't think it's an awful play by the Infernos members just to save here. Especially Boone, who upgraded to the Odin. I think that's what they're going to do. Everyone's just going to run away. They're going to run right into Kinetic, though, and that's a huge pick for Boone. But the Drought or the Infernos win the round. Ooh, nearly took out Cavito there.
See, Vipers thinking of that Judge, too. Basically the only thing they can really afford at this point.
Yeah, Vipers upgraded to the Spectre after losing the pistol round, and it's kind of jacked up their econ ever since.
Keep it cool. That's how you survive.
They're gonna have to. Oh, but they were one off from their ultimate, so at least they can use the showstopper to be able to put on some pressure. They're gonna use that right there.
Not find anything. Oh, Vapor ducking around some bullets, Matrix style. It ends up being a 3 for 2. Make it a 4 for 3, 4 for 4.
Ace.
Kinetic.
We're gonna know that that's Silva's right there.
Unfortunately, you wanted the Odin wallbang. There it is. Boone denies the ace with a great owl drone. And the landslide's up 11-5 now.
That is just so... that is so perfectly a spoiler there. The Jet is on their way to the ace, and you just wallbang them with the Odin.
Talked about it. Something that we've seen a lot of Sovas do. You pick up the Odin for that reason.
They like the Odin on Ascent.
Landslide is now 2 wins away from the grand finals. A return after a long break. Great paint shells force everybody back. It's a 1-for-1 trade at the end, though. And Vapor snuck through.
Looks like they realize someone is trying to peek down through mid there. There's that Odin again being a menace, taking out Mo. It's evened up, though.
There, Boone now goes down, so it's all up to Fangzy, who's sitting on A.
Concealment, blocking vision.
Are some low health members of the Infernos. Oh, he's going to get a great near flank onto Muffins. If he peeks this corner right, he kills Muffins every single time. And he does. Now you've got a 1-tap Jet and a full health Killjoy.
It's going to have to be mindful of those mollies.
It's not on the site.
Right, just enough off the spike so he can't shoot it to get rid of them.
Oh, Kinetic did see him. Taking damage from the bot.
Oh, he doesn't have time. He needs
It's got to go now.
Oh,
gets one, gets a second.
Whoa!
Will he have enough time? No, I don't think so.
Oh, great effort, though.
Just a little bit too short. Those swarm grenades being thrown just off the spikeman. He couldn't find him, but still did pick up the 2 kills nonetheless.
I do like it. Their radius still overlapped with the spike.
Yep. That was a great play. Fangsy took just a smidge too long, and those swarm grenades did just enough to slow him down.
Yeah, he went down to how he was just hanging on by a hair there.
12 HP. But even off of that win, I mean, just look how odd the econ is. I mean, you've got a Spectre. Do you think you've got a Guardian for
We got a
the
Bulldog,
Infernos?
too.
Yeah, it was the Bulldog, not the Spectre. Excuse me, you're right.
Spectres, Bulldogs, and Marshals.
Guardians.
Kind of like the designer knockoff, if you will.
Ooh, Kinetic's going to push into that Marshall, as you mentioned. Oh, no. You cannot miss a target that's not looking at you.
Uh-oh.
Oh. These have sent some great grenades.
Seems the paint shells are there to make up the difference for whenever a sniper misses this round.
Fangs even got the pick as well.
Oh.
Wow, a sheriff and a pistol kill. It's a 5v2 in an eco round for the landslides. So Vipers does pick up one with the Guardian.
Those Satchel out a little bit.
Like
so
that?
Yeah, I like that.
A little bit of a jet dash there, if you will.
Yeah, a little bit more speed to throw off.
Ooh, unfortunately get hit by the leader, though, and that's going to leave it all up to Zed Evan, who does have the AR. Gets caught in the run animation, though.
Oh, one more. Has only 10 seconds left. Oh, realize just by running away, they're going to burn out the clock.
Yep, you just have to run if you're Froyo. And they'll do just that. Zed Evan will get the exit frag, but it will not matter. It is match point for the landslides here,
and they're at a full buy. Their Sova's got the Odin. They've got 3 ultimates. They're sitting pretty happy right now.
Yeah, they're in a good spot. And the problem is, even though the Infernos won that round,
yeah, their econ isn't.
2 Spectres, a
Frenzy,
and 2 pistols.
I cannot make the Frenzy work for the life of me. It's just every other weapon in Valorant I've been able to come to terms with a little bit, but the Frenzy always eludes me. It's people are getting headshots from across the map when they use it, and I can be 5 feet away from them and shoot a nice outline around them with the.
Well, they could use some of those cross-map headshots. Oh, Hunter's Fury comes out. Fangsy with the flank into the Hunter's Fury.
Oh, a double!
Boone with the double to wrap it up, and the landslides.
Wow.
New team, same result. They're back in our grand finals. And they'll take on the Drought to see who is our final Rumble regular season champion before the club championships come with us next week. Well, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights with our featured Rumbles. Recruiters taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. We're on to our final game of the night, Jam. We've got Drought. We've got Landslides. Before we go to break, I'm going to put you on the spot. We've seen both these teams here tonight. It's a best of 1 here in the grand finals. Who you got?
Ooh, that's really tough. And normally I would predict on which team was able to use the judge more effectively, but both of them were great on the shotgun, so they're even in that regard. So I guess I'll go with the Landslides. They're the team that they have the recognition. They have a great new roster. I know new roster, but they're still living up to the Landslides name, so I'm going to call it for them.
All right. Jem says Landslides. We go to Icebox. Who comes out? Best of 1. Winner take all. Landslides, Drought. Final Rumble Grand Finals of the regular season in the fall. Who comes home with it? We find out after this.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome to Esports Tower. Our website offers over 350 different fan favorites that are fully customizable. To begin, click on the product category or featured item to get started. To further customize your new gear, click the blue View More Designs button and pick your favorite design. Thank you for visiting the Esports Tower store.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. It is time for our final map of the fall regular season. Here, Fish and Gem calling all of the action. It's the drought. It's the landslide. We are on Icebox. And Gem's already gone with the landslides. Though we do have some roster shakeups that we are going to get to. But before we get to those, we do want to take a moment to congratulate all the members of the Esports Tower who have graduated and moved on to the collegiate level. Going into this fall, Esports Tower members had picked up $1.3 million in scholarship offers. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but have worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. We cannot be more excited nor proud to see all the opportunities these players are getting. Cannot wait to see that number continue to climb in the future. I know there's some players in the Esports Tower that we at Boise State here have been keeping our eyes on. So huge congratulations to all of the players. $1.3 million. Again, that number's only going to get higher. You see that Valorant number there. And I'm sure some of these players that we're about to see, Gem, are going to add to that in the coming years. But as I said, we've got some roster shakeups that we do need to go over. Unfortunately, one of the Drought's players had something come up. They're not going to be able to make it. Cavito will move over from the landslides to the Drought. And before you start saying, well, that's kind of odd, Cavito actually does usually practice with the Drought. The landslides were actually borrowing Cavito from the Drought's pod this week. So that swap kind of makes sense. And that means Prestige will now get promoted into the active lineup there. So that is where the swaps will come through. So don't get confused if you see Cavito on the Drought side again. Usually plays with the Drought, was just borrowed by the landslides because Prestige was busy earlier in the week, wasn't able to make our first round game. So now Cavito back to the Drought, Prestige is in, and that's where we set ourselves up as we go into Icebox on our final game of the night.
Now, the interesting thing about Icebox that's going to force from these teams is we're probably going to see Viper be brought out, which we haven't seen her tonight, but unless you want to be pressing A every single time, you're going to need Viper and her wall to make a map like Icebox or Breeze work. So that's probably going to be one of the new picks that we see be brought in here. But Droughts and Landslides, two very formidable teams.
Yep, best of one here, winner take all. Final regular season game of the year in the fall. We'll have the Valorant Club Championships next week, Monday at this time, which is going to be a lot of fun. I know there's some old faces returning there that I cannot wait to see. But who is our final champion? Will it be the Landslides, who at the start of the fall you said, hey, the Landslides win the last week? You're like, I expect that. But with no Memphi, no Solix, never would have expected against the Drought, who have been maybe one of the best teams in the Esports Tower, especially as of late. And before we hop into Icebox, maybe we'll get Doc's keys to the game. If not, we'll take a look at this Icebox map, and I think you hit the biggest key onto the head, Jim. Who will play the Viper on both teams? Because you basically, to be successful on Icebox, have to have a Viper because her kit is phenomenal in solo holding B.
Yep, it's just B is way too wide open to be able to hold it without Viper. She's kind of the one that resurrected Icebox a little bit in terms of popularity because Icebox came out before she did, and it was just everyone went A all the time. And a lot of people still go A, about 80%.
I think the other thing that'll be interesting is will the Landslides pick up a Jet and pick up an op along the way? They didn't really op in our semifinal game. I know Boone kind of had one. We saw Froyo pick one up there as well. I think that'll be the other main question because, I mean, you look at the team. I mean, Boone's probably going to play Soba. We expect Froyo to probably play the Reyna Prestige on the Sky, and you're starting to say, well, where does that Viper fit in? But before we find out where it fits in, we get Doc's keys to the game for the final time here going into our final game. Focus angles and flank. Know your win condition, count cards, call abilities, and click heads, which we've seen a lot of tonight. Presented by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. It's time to kick off our grand final to the Landslides, taking on the Drought for the final regular season championship of the fall season. Both these teams have looked strong throughout the whole event, are pushing hard to be this week's champion. The Drought had to bring in their six-man, as I said. Cavito will rotate over. Prestige will pop in for the Landslides. And let's see who takes home this winner-take-all game. Cavito on the Viper. It looks like for right now, there we go. Fangsy swaps over. I was like, the Landside's about to say no.
Well,
I think he picks the Viper. I think he picks the Viper.
Yeah, Astra has a wall, but it's tied to the ultimate, so. And no, don't even lead us down with the Yoru.
Froyo will swap over to the Jet.
Choose your agent.
And so we're Corkles. Yeah, I think this is the lineup we're going to get here. I don't think they swap off the Viper. So Cavito and Fangsy will hold down B, and the rest of the team will go
It's interesting that the KO is being used instead of the Sova, because Sova can be really good on Icebox.
We've seen a lot of KOs. Usually, again, Chamber is legal. Would have liked to have seen some Chamber here.
Would have been nice.
Maybe we'll see him in next week's club championship. But, I mean, I'm very curious because, again, this is a Landslides team that after they kind of won and had some players take some breaks. I mean, Prestige spearheaded this whole team but hasn't played this week until now. So I'm curious to see how the spearhead, the IGL for the Landslides will do because they made it this far without him. And you can only imagine he's going to make this team better.
Yeah, it's a name that we have really well known, and I guess old habits die hard. But Corkles is going to be the one to kind of go up against him. So we're going to see how well. Now, Corkles was the one to make the op work on the Sage on Split. And now Corkles is on the Jet, which is ideal for the op. So that's going to be something really dangerous to deal with.
I'm curious to see what Froyo will play. We've mainly seen Froyo on the Reyna, so now that Froyo's on the Jet, I'm excited to see how that will work out. As we see the early A push there, we do get a couple of late flanks, and Prestige is waiting for that. Though I don't think anyone's going to give anything away, and this A side is wide open. Fangsy and company just get a free plant down.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising to see no one really hold A. And the good news is that you...
Click heads.
Yep.
Easy as that.
But the thing that was the thing that was great for the Landslides here that they were able to plant instantly is since no one was holding A, they were wow, look at that. A bit of fighting back here. Would have got one headshot, but I don't think.
Maybe. No.
Yep. And that's actually what I was going to talk about is the verticality on point A, and that worked out so well for the Landslides because they didn't have to deal with any of that. No one was on A from the Drought, so normally all of these angles that you have to check when going on to A, seeing, is someone hiding up on the crates or anything? No, they just were able to mosey on in, and that's all you can ask for on A point on Icebox.
Yeah, I thought it was odd that the Drought just left A open. I mean, that was an easy A take. I don't know if they wanted to try and catch somebody in a mid-rotation. And interestingly enough, we see that Devin on the KO is over on B, where we're usually used to seeing those Vipers, as we talked about before we started. Solo hold. We get a full Spectre buy here, this time from the landslide, not messing around. Froyo takes some damage, but should be able to be set up just perfectly fine here.
Just a little bit of chip damage there. The dog is going to go out, get some information, so is able just going to shoot right through the smoke to be able to take out Devin, and is going to be able to get the plant there.
Ooh. Mapper not quite able to, though Prestige will take out Corkles. And the gun difference really shining through for the landslides right now in our second round. Froyo gets one. You need at least a pick here, Kavito. But it's a 4K for Froyo. It's a flawless, and that makes the next round even harder.
Yeah, especially with bonus now very much on the table for the landslides.
They did get one upgrade. Couldn't tell if Boone ended up upgrading or not. Nope, they all stuck with their Spectres. As Prestige picked up the only non-Froyo kill, and Froyo on this jet, they struggled a bit on the Reyna last map in our semifinals. Not so much here, especially in that round.
Looks like we're starting this out the same as always, this early A push.
Oh, nice one. That's a great pick.
Amazing pick by Corkles, and that's kind of the main playmaker for the landslides now out of the picture. So who else is going to step up to get their picks?
Ooh, dog does get destroyed just before it reaches.
Oh, I love that. Love those darts.
Corkles gets a second elimination onto Fangzy. And the spike as well, which makes it even harder for the landslides. Great push up there from Mommy on the Reyna. And it's all up to Prestige, who gets suppressed, will try and run away, is being hunted across all angles. Not quite able to take out anybody on the team in the drought on their full buy round. Pick up the win.
Of course, using my favorite spray there of the Sova, too. Just a little bit of icing on the cake there, but able to deny that bonus from the landslides. And I have to wonder if Corkles is going to stay on this Vandal. I mean, they bought it, you know, on round 3, so they already got a lot invested into it. They're going to stick with it. Actually see Mommy is actually going to be able to bring out the Guardian there.
Right, interesting there. I think they ended up getting taken out, and that kind of threw everything off.
I was looking at the exact same angle for Corkles and is still able to find one pick, but gets taken out themselves.
It's a decent trade, I think, as we talked about last round. Froyo, kind of the carry so far for the landslides. Corkle fills that same role, so sorry, Boone, but I think you take that trade of Corkles for Boone really any day. Where is the Viper, and why are they not on B?
That's a really good question, but Froyo keeping on the train here, now has 2. So they get 3, and the landslides might give way to try to give the ace, but needs 1 pick for that to be on the table, really.
Orthodox looking for the box spray, not able to find it. Froyo picks up a third.
I think landslides might be saying, let Froyo have the ace here.
It's the grand finals. I don't know if you want to do that. You might have to, though.
Oh, Froyo is... Okay,
right
Fangzy,
above.
that's fine, that's fine. Oh, wow, look at that, this Guardian. But not enough time.
Yeah, Fangzy has the lineups, unfortunately. Not going to let that one happen. Even gets the kill, but can't get out. Would have liked to see Fangzy maybe just run away there, but it'll full reset everybody, but the landslides will pick up the win.
That's pretty good, though, you know, in terms of the stall that Mommy was able to do there. It didn't really have a chance to defuse the spike, but was able to get 2 picks and be able to hold the third one long enough that they died to the spike explosion. So still managing to take a lot of credits away from the landslides.
All with the Guardian as well, the only member of the...
That's a quality value purchase there.
Drought, and we get a double eco round here. Now that is something you don't see every day. I think we've got 4 Sheriffs and a Spectre for the landslide. As we see a trade of Sheriff headshots. There's the Marshal from Mommy getting a kill onto Prestige as well.
Last player standing.
And it's all up to Froyo, who gets taken out. So in a battle of double ecos, the Drought end up pulling that one out.
And it really hasn't been. We've been looking to Corkles to be the one with all the snipes, but it's actually Reyna. It's Mommy has a 6-4-2 right now, and they're going to be using a sniper too. It's a double sniper because their Reyna has just found a way to be as good as a Jet on their snipers. Drought's doing a great job bringing it close now, but they're going to need a few more rounds to take it away from the landslides here. A win here would be great, especially since landslide's full bot.
Small difference between the Op and the Marshal, though, for Mommy and Corkles. Mommy's still on that Marshal, Corkles on the Op.
But I wouldn't be surprised if their Reyna found a way to outdo the Op on the Marshal.
Well, there's one, yeah, for Mommy. Gets the headshot onto Froyo. And the Op goes down. Corkles is taken out. Ooh, Boone very low. Seeker's going to come out here from Vapor. We get the Viper ult as well for the landslides. Get the blinded Q. The revive onto Prestige as well. Orthodox going to push in. They'll trade 1 for 1, but Devin picks up a second kill as well.
Nice pick on the grenade there. Is able to even it up. 3, but the Viper's still alive, so the pit is still in play. Tried to toss a little bit of a molly into that corner there, but there was no one there. And now that the Viper's gone, that's the green light for them. Oh, and they're going to... Yeah, nice. They're not even faking. They're going to stick it to at least half. Ooh, they don't have a lot of time, though. It's just going to try to...
Oh, you can't fake!
What?
Pros don't fake! Oh, they had the defuse! Oh, that is so huge, because now instead of 3-3...
Especially since they didn't wallbang there. I thought he would at least try to wallbang to get him off the spike, but he didn't. That was just enough time to be able to actually stick it.
Wow. That changes so much. The score, most importantly, but you look at the buys, the Drought are forced to eco once again. All 5 agents. Suppressed there by Devin, but they'll still push through anyway. Oh, Froyo. Froyo with the Guardians going to give Mommy a taste of their own medicine. Hunter's Fury from Boone will come out, but not able to find too much.
Oh, a double with the shot dart!
Prestige going to get that plant down. Orthodox tried to rush in with the Sheriff. Wasn't able to find it. Cavito now only has that Sheriff as well.
Oh, gets blinded too. They know where he is.
And barely Prestige survives for the flawless. And just look how much that one round has shifted the landscape.
I know. I got... it's not just the eco, but just how you got to feel after a round like that, too.
They do get a full upgrade, though, this time to the Drow.
And we've seen that Corkles, even though, hasn't been able to really make the op work, has been doing great work on the Vandal, is going to take that exact same angle.
Devin looking for another 5-man suppress.
I know.
Bad news.
That's the real play of the game.
Bad news. There's no one there. They're all rushing A this time. Ooh, got a long-range fight there. Some damage going out, and Corkles ends up with a double. Be the time back in this round as Prestige putting some damage onto Corkles. Has 3 members staring at him. Devin's going to get this huge flank as well.
Oh, they got wise just at the right moment.
They turn around just in time now. We do see Viper. Kavito is pushing around, looking for that rotation, but the landslides predict that. It's all up to Prestige. Sees Orthodox, who's now running away. Predicts that rotation, but didn't take the shot in time. And the Drought make it 5-3.
Now in terms of buys, Froyo's going to go over to that Marshall, which, if patterns have been anything today, actually going to get a timeout, but if the general pattern of how things have played out today is anything to go by, the moral of the story is why opt when you can Marshall?
Yeah, we've seen some great Marshall value. It is the Drought that take the timeout. So even off the win, I think they're probably trying to sync up the eco, figure out how they can get back in this because it's been pretty back and forth. The landslide has stayed ahead the whole time. It's been a pretty close round, as you said, and the unexpected guns have been the hero. We've seen the Judge, we saw the Guardian, we've seen the Marshall. Have not seen many ops, and I will say I like the landslides call. They're kind of like, stats aside, they're like, we don't want to op. We don't want to take that chance. So we'll see what the Drought could do in their timeout, what they could do to kind of turn things around, because it is still 5-3 landslide right now. One more round for win for the landslides guarantees at least a tie at the half.
And still overall pretty even, so the fact that there have kind of been, very well staggered wins for each team hasn't really allowed the teams to be able to save up that long to be able to bring out the op probably as much as they would like.
We get a huge 3-man flank from the Drought, though they did land a suppression on the Prestige, so he kind of knows they're there, plus that blind is going to give it away as well. Fangsy will get the plant down.
He's just going to be throwing out that grenade right onto the spike. Isn't going to get anyone, though, but overall, that is a great flank from the Drought.
Drought end up with 2, but a huge blind means more than that. It's all up to Boone, who gets 1. And the Drought off the timeout pick up a win, and it's 5-4.
And they're not going to take any chances with not defusing here.
That's a great flank by the Drought. That's usually something the landslide key in on. So interesting enough that they didn't find it, and it looks like we'll get a half buy here from the landslide.
And we see Corkles actually looks like they're going to save right now. They're a little bit low, but they have the knives to be able to make up for that.
I'd expect knives, and if they get a good round and if the Drought win, probably into an op.
Get out of my way.
There's the knives immediately.
2.
Drop. And both of them get popped there. Furrio's team is on the save round, so that one makes a little more sense.
Some great Viper utility here, blocking off a lot of the sight lines. Exchanging some fire there, is able to get 1.
Down, attacker spawn.
That's going to refill all of the knives for Corkles.
They did take the spike down as well. Devin with another huge flank. Froyo, though, does get a kill with their own knives to get the reset.
But still in the realm of possibility for the landslides. They're awfully close to B. They're not really... Oh. Problem is they are so split up right now.
Another reset.
Wow.
Another reset. They see Mommy, but they can't quite land the knives. And it's all up to Prestige. Sees the ghost form. Can't quite get it done, though, and it's 5-5 now as the Drought win their 3rd straight out of the timeout.
Yeah, that was a real predicament for the landslides there. You had 2 members, off towards B there, but their Sova was caught out on A. Would have had to rotate through the other team's spawn to be able to meet up with the other teammates there, so looks like they just kind of tried to close in on the Drought, but didn't work. And there goes the op from Corkles that we were expecting.
Get a full buy from both teams. Their econs have kind of been synced together all night. It's been a very back and forth. Let's get the suppression on to Boone. Saw Kavito.
That is a dangerous peek on the Sova when you're halfway through your dart animation and you see someone around the corner.
They do get the kill onto Devin with the ult. We'll see if Kavito can potentially get them back up. I think they're just going to camp it out. Prestige will get that kill. Vapor will get one more. Fangsy predicts the flank from Mommy, but can't win the battle. Seekers come out. They get the revive onto Froyo, but Korkles immediately gets the kill onto the reviving Jet. Prestige playing some ring around the rosy. That's a great pick to make it a 2v2 for Vapor.
Thing is, it's really hard for them to push on to B now. And Korkles is going to try to find them. If they try to rotate over to A, Korkles is going to... They're actually trying to predict.
Oh,
but the thing is,
no.
Landslides are just going to go B instead.
Kavito nearly ulted that. Now they'll get the notification the spike is down, and we'll see what Korkles can do with the op. Takes out the dog. This is going to be the 1v1 that matters between Prestige and Kavito. There's that ult from
down
Kavito.
the Viper pit.
Happer gets the kill onto Korkles, though, and gets the kill onto Kavito. The Viper ult does nothing, and the Landslides guarantee a tie or potentially the lead at half.
It isn't going to stop Korkles. They have just enough. Only 50 credits to spare, but they're able to get the op back.
It looks like everyone gets a full buy except for... Nope, Boone even gets one as well. Teammate tossing him a gun.
It's not often that at this level of skill you see your Jet at 8, 9, and 3. Normally we see both Jets kind of MVPs for both teams, but today's just been a very weird day in terms of the Jets opping and not being able to find as much as they want, and a miss there. And I think I'm just jinxing them at this point. Look at that Hunter's Fury! Korkles trying to escape! No!
Takes them out. Does get the revive, though, so Korkles is back. We get the Viper ult popped as well. This time from Fangsy. The dog is going to give away 3. But here comes Devin on the flank. Boone is there, though. Sees him. They trade bullets back and forth. Devin on the losing end of that trade. Froyo's now rotated back as well. And we'll immediately stop that. The Orthodox and Kavito are still there. Prestige goes down. It's all up to Kavito in a 1-on-2. And loses that to Boone. So the Landslides will have to lead at the half. 7-5.
Switching sides.
Definitely 7-5 going on to the defending side. The Landslides are feeling pretty good right now.
I'm curious how the Landslides will defend. We saw the Drought get really aggressive with backline flanks and with 2 to 3 members. I mean, that time it was only Devin. I'm curious if the Landslides will do that. They were notorious with their previous roster for being maybe one of the most flank-happy teams in the Esports Tower, especially defending. Right now, we're going to get an all-out A rush, it looks like, from the Drought to try and even things back up.
Yeah, it looks pretty standard. Those not opting for a Ghost or a Sheriff are going to get the small, nice lineup there. Isn't really going to give him any information, though. No one's suppressed. The Viper throws up her wall there. Push through, though, even though that wall's up. I don't think they know that there's one of the Landslides up there. Vapor just waiting. Yeah, they... Oh!
Spike planted.
Here's Prestige on the flank. Boone goes down as well to the Sheriff.
Ooh, that's
unfortunate.
Yeah, that's one of those that you're just kicking yourself on. I spent 5 hours in aim labs. How did I mess that up?
Prestige is all but surrounded as Froyo goes down. At least prevents the flawless. Gets caught having to reload, though. So the Drought will win that round relatively easily.
So now this is a great start for the Drought, being able to get a little bit of momentum for themselves on attack. They're going to go mainly for Scepters here. Landslide still going mostly a full save.
Here.
But we might see Froyo bring out the Marshall. That has been kind of an unexpected pick, but they'll
just sell it back.
Yeah, they'll just sell it back.
Maybe going to hold for the op. We will see. Ooh, what a lineup from Devin. Lands the suppression onto 2. Orthodox and Prestige in a battle in tubes there. Corkles gets a little too aggressive. Goes down. They spray through the wall. They take out the bird. Tommy gets one more. Fangsy was flash. Froyo will go down. It's all up to Prestige now with the ghost. Gets one. But as the Sage Wall goes down, unfortunately.
They do have one heal for themselves, so if they take a bit of chip damage here. Ooh, but they're not going to be able to use it.
Oh, they get taken out there. So they do deny 2 for the bonus. The Drought even up our scoring at 7-7. Grand finals. I mean, this has been a very close game so far.
And Corkles was thinking about... Yeah, okay, they are going to, in fact, go for the Marshall.
I think, honestly, the more interesting one is Kavito going for the full upgrade.
Yeah, the Landslides are going to settle for a few half shields, small shields, actually, if it means they all can have Vandals. See how well Corkles can get a peek through here on A. Gonna head up. No one in sightlines quite yet. Froyo's just waiting for them.
Oh, Froyo. Oh, the wall barely as Corkles does get one, but Prestige trades it off. Froyo picks up 2 with the headshot. Ooh, nice shock dart. Orthodox, though, just as low. Can't even heal themselves up. It's all up to Kavito. And they get taken out by Boone as well. And the Landslides have to wait for the Viper.
Oh, it's at half
Toxin,
already. Okay, they can.
They had plenty of time.
I gotta say, this Sova's kind of been a sleeper, you know, in the way that you don't necessarily have him at the front of your mind, but with his shock darts and especially also his Hunter's Fury, he's been catching the Droughts off guard.
I think Sova's a great pick on this map. It was interesting that the Drought opted not to bring one.
I know, using KO. KO's not bad at anything, you know. That's kind of the whole predicament of KO. He's not bad at anything, but he's not amazing at anything either.
Now, though, the Drought, see what they get to do coming off the bonus round. Oh, Prestige gets a huge win there. Taking out that KO. Corkles does have the op.
But
not,
of course, isn't able to make it work. What else is new today?
No luck for the ops. Corkles will get healed. Prestige just hanging out in tubes, but ends up falling back.
Oh.
But do take out Prestige. Make it a 4-on-4. Froyo and company, though, going to push right into him. They go 2 for 1. Nearly go down, though. Froyo looks
just going to peek out. Oh!
Oh, they get revealed there.
Seconds left.
It's just, wow. And of course the heal onto the Reyna.
It gets to basically be full health. Here come the 2 members of the Landslides, Boone and Fangsy.
Of course, I don't know if that overheal is going to last long enough because the Landslides are taking a little while to rotate back over to point. Oh, but using the Empress. Okay, that's not going to be too much of a problem now.
Well, will be if they don't win. It's up to a 1v1. Fangzi versus Kavito. Kavito is low health, but gets the kill. And the Drought even things up at 8-8 now.
Orthodox doing a really good job, is almost taking the MVP away from Mami there. Froyo still staying ahead. 17-14-7 is opted to go for, not the op, but the Marshal. 2 Marshals, in fact, for Landslides.
Landslides on a save round. Get a couple of full buys, couple of half buys here from the Drought with a Guardian and a Spectre.
Oh, tried to tap ahead there, not able to do so. That's great pick with the Spectre especially. They're just going to move right in.
They're just going to charge him down. Korkles realizing he has him outgunned. Fangzi and Prestige going to go on the flank. The Viper's Pit actually getting burned there by Kavito, interestingly enough, in a save round, as we talk about. Might as well put your alts on cooldown to be able to use them again. 1 kill for Prestige at least. Can't find much else though, unfortunately.
Exactly where he is. Has to look in 2 directions here. Oh, he's missing all these headshots. That just doesn't feel good.
9-8 now in favor of the Drought.
Well, my prediction might not come to fruition here.
This has been a very close series. Again, best of 1 here.
And you look at the record for this series, actually the best winning streak was only kind of 3, and that was done by the Droughts earlier on. It has been since the No team has been able to get more than 2 wins in a row.
And these teams have been really very even. The Drought have kind of taken over. And remember, the Drought won those 3 rounds out of a timeout.
Get out of my way.
Maybe you look for the Landslides to call a timeout here as Korkles is going to rip the knives and just get headshot out of midair. Ooh, wow. Another elimination.
Pixel perfect.
Just like that, it's a 5-on-2. Seekers are going to come out. They'll also use the Viper ult just to be safe. Mami will get 1, but will get hit by the Seeker. They'll push on that, and they'll kill him in the reload, and it's 9-9 now.
Alrighty, and with those knives burnt, actually, it's going to be able to give the Jet just enough, I think, to buy some guns for the other teammates there.
Yeah, both players, everyone with a full buy, it looks like, from what we can see here. Is Zapper, as you said, just got 2 pixel perfect headshots. Yeah, full buy is here.
Just enough for full buys. Now these knives have actually been pretty good from Devin. We'll see if he gets one. Doesn't quite look like, oh, maybe. I think he got 1. Prestige with the wallbang there, though, is going to eliminate Korkles.
Mami over here, though, has Froyo low. Dog going to get taken out. Now Vapor knows Mami is there and is going to pick up the kill. Orthodox gets 1 back, though, gets the revive. There's no punish this time.
It's a really crucial revive, especially since Mami has been the one that is currently lined up for the MVP. Devin is going to get 1 onto Sova. Looks like they might just rotate around. A is completely wide open for them. They've been able to fake the Landslides out into going for B.
They get the revive as well onto Vapor, so we've got 2 revives this round. Oh, Fangzi with a huge pick onto Mami. So the spike is down on A, and no one for the Drought are there, so they're going to have to speed through this a little bit.
Yeah, Landslides don't have too much time, but they do have an advantage, but Orthodox is just going to stop that. Prestige now
Fang Z.
making something happen. Devin is going to throw out at just the right angle. He's trying to put the grenade onto the spike. Now he's the only one left, but gets stopped by Prestige.
They'll split the defuse, and the landslides now go up 10-9, and I think the Droughts are going to be forced to eco here this round.
All right, a little bit more breathing room for the landslides, and especially also I think that was kind of crucial that, you know, that the Sage was able to defuse and able to get the ultimate point for that. Because you've got now that Sage only really needs four more points, and that's doable at this point since they're at 10. A pick here, a pick there, that actually puts a lot of advantage over to the landslides considering both teams use their res there.
Yeah, we see another timeout called in by the Drought. We'll see if they're able to rally like they did on the first one, but very interesting because now the ecos have been so even. I mean, we saw them both save. We've seen them full buy multiple times together. This is where we're going to start to jack up the eco of the Drought here because I think they have to save this round. Then if they lose, they'll have a buy that round. Then you're looking at potentially having to save on match point. They have to play this very smart, which I think is why this timeout is huge, to figure out what exactly they want to do with their eco. And they're going to look like actually get a full buy plus a Spectre once again.
That's going to make it really difficult. They still have positioned themselves, though, that they're not going to eco, at least if they're up against match point. So that's good. They can save for the next one. Corkle's with a great pick onto Prestige, though. A win here would be so crucial for them, only in terms of momentum and tying it up, but especially for their eco.
Oh, they push right onto Fang Z. They make it a 5-on-3. Mommy gets one more pick, and now all of a sudden, ooh, maybe not. Vapor goes down. What can Boone do? Has the Hunter's Fury.
Spike planted.
And I think at this point, though, you know, that Hunter's Fury requires 8 points to charge up, and at this point, if he were to use it right now, I don't think he could charge it up again before match point, so he doesn't really see the value in using it on a 1v4.
Gets taken out, and now we stay even, and we start to maybe look into overtime as a possibility. As once again, the landslides will now be the one forced with the task of figuring out when they want to eco. And they'll get one Phantom, one Vandal, a Spectre, a Marshal, maybe make it 2. Looks like they might end up saving here outside of Prestige.
Yeah, they are mostly saving. Thing is, with the Marshal, all it takes is one good headshot, and you're still able to make a huge difference with it. Ooh, but their location's going to be revealed right off the bat as that dart goes out. So was really good at holding A.
So far, no picks, though, for the landslides, which is what they really need in a save round. The Drought have found one here.
Ooh, Chuck checked that angle there, but the landslides had already rotated off the high point there. Mommy gets a pick onto Froyo, but it's evened up. Back and forth. Landslides now have just 2 left, and the Droughts are going to use that to plant.
Prestige does have an AR, however. Does have the Phantom, and Boone gets that headshot onto Mommy you were talking about. Oh, Prestige knows somebody's down there. Gets the pick. It's a 1-on-2. If there's ever anybody you want in a 1-on-2, Prestige is up there in your choices.
Can't waste too much time, though. They're going to rotate out. They realize that they just want to burn as...
Ooh, another flick by Devin onto Prestige. And now the Drought are 2 away from winning.
All right, landslides. It's looking more and more likely we might actually be heading into overtime here. Froyo has upgraded to the op. So will you be the first one to really make it work today? I'm over-exaggerating a little. I mean, we have seen some great picks with the op, but they're actually going for half shields there if it means the op.
Something to change things up. One more win for the Drought guarantees overtime at the worst for them.
They're just going to stay right in the corner with that op. just waiting for Drought to go through, but I think Drought, maybe they saw that op or just had the feeling that they should be going over to B instead, so they're going to avoid that for now.
Now Fangsy does have the ult, predicts that after getting landed by on the suppression. The ult goes out, but immediately fades as Corkles.
Oh, there's that Hunter's Fury he was waiting for. He gets one.
Prestige gets taken out, but Froyo answers right back with the op. It's a 3-on-3. Ox will get that plant down, and now it's a 3-on-2. Froyo is there, though. Cavito, what lineups do you have on Viper? Well, with the death, you have nothing. They're looking for Devin.
Devin's kind of been a key player, but he's not going to be able to face up against that op. Froyo finding what's needed.
It's a 4K for Froyo with the op plus the knives, and it's 11-11 now.
As we take a quick look at the credits here, that's going to be huge for the Landslides, not having to give up the op after one round. That means they're going to be able to have the chance to at least refill their credits. They're actually might be going for a half buy here. It looks like we see just one Vandal. The rest are going for Spectres. They're thinking ahead here. Meanwhile, it's almost basically a full buy for the Drought.
Now, the Drought are going to be able to get 4 Vandals in a Marshall, and the knives are going to get popped there by Corkles, but it's not going to matter as Froyo saved the best for last.
Yeah, this was all of the luck. I'm not the skill with the op, I should say. We were waiting for it all night, and it's finally going through in spades here from Froyo.
Now, what can the Drought do? They're already down 2.
Ooh,
the near shock dart missed there from Boone. They know Froyo is there. Now Orthodox and Cavito have to rotate out, but Prestige is waiting right outside of tubes in mid. He's going to throw that wall down, give it away for his team. They are rotating over towards B.
Now Vapper's just waiting right here. Isn't quite the best weapon to hold on with the Spectre, but I think this is going to work out very well for the Landslide, especially because they can basically pick up the Vandals. All the people who bought Spectres for the Landslides can pick up the Vandals and really make a save round into something pretty beautiful here.
Boone gets the kill, but it's a flawless for the Landslides. And as you said, Jem, they get to pick up the Vandals. Now, worst they can get is overtime. It's a match point.
And this was kind of, I think this is very decisive for the Landslides. That was sort of an all-in from the Droughts, and some of them are going to be forced to use Spectres here for the match point. So the Landslides really set themselves up perfectly in terms of econ here.
Yeah, I think the Landslides, as you mentioned, they bought mainly Spectres to set up behind Froyo's op. Only have 2 ults. We have a Sage ult and a Sky ult for the Drought and Landslides, respectively.
Fangsy taking a bit of damage there.
Gets the pick,
manages to recover, takes out Orthodox, gets a double.
Prestige finds 1. Mommy is able to get at least 1 kill onto Fangsy and upgrades the weapon. Line does come out, but they trade 1 for 1. Prestige has the revive as well if he wants to use it, but he's just going to shoot him in the back. And the Landslides rally in a fantastic grand final. What a way to end the regular season. The Landslides come out on top once again, but the Drought gave it everything they could. Club championships next week are going to be a ton of fun, Jem. So a huge congratulations to the Landslides. Again, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access with our featured Rumbles. Recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. Huge congratulations to the Landslide. They are the champions. Cannot wait for our club championship to put a bow on this fall season. But as we wrap things up here to JHM, we lead into our ICCU player of the game. Who you got?
Who? You know, even though they didn't end up winning, I have to say one key player for the Drought was Mommy. They were able to get, multiple great kills, was actually at the top of the MVP, outdoing their own Jet.
Yeah.
And I think overall through both, if we're looking at both games, I think that the performance through both games actually could make that a real contender for the player of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I'm probably going to have to go with Froyo. I think you're right, and it looks like you are right.
Yep.
It was Mommy. I think Froyo's performance in those last 3 rounds, though, is something that cannot be understated. Basically, clutching it up for the landslides from 11-10 to 13-11. But Mommy picks up the player of the game, as you said, across both games tonight. I think they were excellent for their team, as you said. The MVP on Icebox despite the loss. So congratulations to Mommy. They are the player of the game, brought to us by Idaho Central Credit Union, who is a great player, makes the team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Mommy is your ICCU player of the game. And they did it with some very unconventional weapons. They had this insane round with the Guardian. Very, very unique. I think they had a couple of great Marshall rounds as well. Overall, a fantastic job and a big congratulations to everybody here tonight.
You really did. I was going to say that was the main turning point that allowed the landslides to win. Unfortunate teleport there, but they recognized, okay, if we want to have full econ, we want to be able to purchase weapons on match point, we're going to have to go Spectres here. But they realized, okay, Froyo, you have the op.
Yeah.
You need to be able to go clutch for us this round, and Froyo certainly did that in kind of the penultimate round. So the ability for them to rely on Froyo with the op and really set themselves up at that point, just picking up all the Vandals that the Drought had gotten only kind of added to the landslide at that point.
Well, as we prepare to wrap up tonight, and congratulations to the landslides and all our teams, Jem, your final thoughts on our final regular season Rumble for Valorant this fall.
Well, it was certainly fun to see a lot of off-meta picks really be able to shine through in terms of the guns. A lot of great Guardian plays. It's always kind of humorous if you're not able to make the op work, go for the polar opposite, the judge, and be able to just instantly get a 3K on that. So a lot of very fun, funny moments tonight, and I can't wait for the club championships next week, as you were talking about.
All right, it's going to be a ton of fun. I know we got some old faces returning for all the club championships. I know that will be a ton of fun, but we will wrap up tonight with our top 5. Again, though, congratulations to all of our teams. The landslides looking very, very strong with this new roster. Be curious to see how they will do in the club championships. I think the Drought are also up and coming as well. The Inferno even kind of gave the landslides a run for their money. The club championships next Monday are going to be a ton of fun. Cannot wait for that. Again, congratulations to all of our teams. Congratulations to the landslides, though, on picking up the final regular season Rumble victory of the fall season. But we will leave you now with our top 5 plays presented to us by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs, offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams out there. Here are your top 5 plays for our final regular season Rumble, and join us next Monday for the club championships.
Finding a way that they can use that mind pack. They're going to need to get one good pick here.
Iron got the judge, maybe looking for some cheese. One!
Right through the smoke, too.
Is able to get away. Classic. Very low. Has to get healed up by this guy. Uh-oh. Pryor's going to get a huge flank. No one's paying attention. 1, 2.
Yes.
Showstopper.
Oh.
No.
It's people are getting headshots from across the map when they use it. And I can be 5 feet away from them and shoot a nice outline around them with them.
They could use some of those cross-map headshots. Oh, Hunter's Fury comes out. Fangsy with the flank into the Hunter's Fury.
Oh, double! You don't have Chambers op as well. Speaking of op, Corporal's just going on insane here.
Speaking of chamber, I am sad. He is legal now in the Esports Tower, I've been told, but no one has used him yet. Oh no. 4K for the